After divorce or the end of a significant relationship, you're probably going through a flood of emotions. You probably feel lonely. Even if you're relieved the relationship is over, there's still a good chance that you're feeling unsettled and going through a grieving process. And if you're a man who's just been through a divorce or the end of a long-term relationship, listen to this before you even think about dating. I made a huge mistake by jumping into a new relationship way too soon. It turned into a 2-year roller coaster of drama and pain. And if I could go back and tell myself one thing, it would be alone for a while, rebuild yourself first. And that's what I want to share with you today. In the midst of the turmoil, it's understandable and very normal that you want some relief. You may be tempted to date just to feel alive again, to actually feel connected and like you're still desirable. And after all, it's your time now. So I know how painful it is when a long marriage ends, even one that was probably never right to begin with. It's still the death of a dream. There's uncertainty and fear. All of your usual routines and ways of living have just been shattered. You may see drama and very bad behavior from the other person that you didn't know they had in them. And if you have kids together, there's a whole other level of complexity. It's a very stressful time, and it takes a while to heal from it all. Now, even if we know that at some level, I think many of us, when we get into situations like this, can easily fall into the self-defeating trap of believing that we're smart enough and we're adults and we know what we're doing. We convince ourselves that we're not vulnerable to ending up in yet another bad relationship. And unfortunately, that's exactly how I thought about it when I jumped right into what turned out to be a toxic relationship right as my marriage was ending. As though I hadn't been through enough already as my 23-year marriage ended, I wasted another couple of years in a new kind of hell. My marriage was boring and disconnected, but it was stable in a sense. This relationship was like getting out of Grandma's Buick and stepping into a red Corvette that broke down all the time. One minute we were driving fast, and the next minute the car was unexpectedly broken down, emitting toxic fumes. And the next minute it was driving away from me to places it shouldn't have been going. You see, the problem was not only had I not healed from my failed marriage, I also hadn't learned lessons I needed to learn about myself and relationships that I really needed to understand before even thinking about dating again. And when life has beaten us down and we're going through the emotional turmoil of something like divorce, we're not at the top of our game. Our self-confidence is probably lower than usual. We may be experiencing shame. We may worry that we're has-beens and that nobody out there would want us anyway. Add to that the fact that, in my opinion, most men do a poor job of vetting women before getting into relationships with them. And put it all together, the deck is stacked against us. We're not right with ourselves, and we're approaching the dating scene from a low-energy, scarcity mindset. We're not ready, even though we may long for what was missing in our marriage. So even if you have no interest at this point in another long-term relationship or marriage, why do you want to be in a mental place of settling for someone? It's not likely to go well or end well. So once the toxic relationship was over, I decided I needed to get my own act together and not date for a while. I became aware that being a people-pleasing nice guy had been a big part of the problem in all of my past relationships. This led to a series of events that involved me living alone, reading books and watching videos about masculinity, dating, nice guy syndrome, etc. I worked on improving my physical and mental health, and I recently made a video that goes into much more detail about how and why I decided to take full accountability for where I was in life and how that made all the difference. I'll link to it at the end of this video. While I realize everyone has their own life story and situation, I think the one thing you can do for yourself that can make all the difference is to be alone for a while and get your own house in order, if you will, before you start dating again. Spend time reconnecting with yourself, who you are and what you want. Be honest with yourself about how you showed up in your marriage. And of course, part of it not working out is their fault too, but it won't help you to focus on that right now. How's your health? Now's a good time to be honest about how you've been taking care of yourself. Do you need to start eating more real food and exercising? Do you have access to a men's group? One of the most powerful experiences I had during my nice guy recovery phase with seeing other guys going through their own challenges while also supporting other men in the context of men's groups. And while I don't think seeing a mental health therapist is necessarily the right answer for everyone, don't forget that that's an option too. So as you spend time getting yourself together, I think it's really helpful to start building a life that you're proud of. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering, but if you feel like you're starting to respect yourself more, you're taking care of and prioritizing yourself, not only will you feel better about yourself, which is the most important thing, but you'll also be setting yourself up to be very attractive to women when you start dating again. You'll be a man on a mission with stuff he does that matters to him. You'll become the prize, and you can then be in a confident, grounded place where you can decide whether to invite a woman to join you on your journey. Let me know in the comments if you've ever moved on too quickly, or if you've taken the time to work on yourself before dating again. I would like to hear your story. And if this was helpful, please like it, subscribe for more content like this. I appreciate you watching. Have a good day.